videos. So I erased them. But the problem with that is erasing those 200 videos messed up my algorithm. It dropped me lower. So my views have been down a lot. So it's going to take a minute to get back up to where we were. If you guys could do me a favor, it's really important. Please hit that like button if you're not subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed. And then also after the show, if you want to go leave a comment, that would help me very much because I got to build up that. YouTube's like, who is this guy? We never seen him before. So I got to get back to where I was. I regret erasing those videos, but I don't know how I'm going to edit 200 videos. So that's where I'm at. If you watch the show, if you're a supporter of the show, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and then if you can, comment after the video. Real quick, Twin, let's get in this comments real quick. Johnny Chisari's here, says smash that like button. Victory Monday, Ryan. A lot to break down. What's up, Johnny? Don't bother me, says top of the morning, Ryan and Twin. What's up, man? Nice to see you as well. Jose Batista says Rams fans still holding it on to the playoff win. That's all they got, man. That's all they got. Moo Man says, what's good, G? Man, Ward was playing that soft ass coverage, pigeon toe ass. I'm gonna talk about Charvarius, man. I think I might have maybe understood. Maybe I got a possible excuse for the guy. So we're gonna talk about that later on in the show. I'll drop that with you guys later. And Clarence Beak says Victory Monday. Everybody strutting at work. Oh yeah, man. It always feels good, huh? Oh. It always feels good. Oh. Talking to him says Ryan G show Purdy has been great, but we can just say he had a bad game and not sugarcoat it with if that's your bad game, that's pretty decent. Let's be real. If the Rams had a better defense, yeah, we're gonna talk about Purdy as well. I got some things I want to talk about in regards to that. Danielle Thompson's here, says what's up, family?
What up, D?
And Andy says hello to you as well. GTC says if true, I'm sub, but your live wasn't even on the top of my algorithm. Yeah, it's true, man. I erased those videos, I guess. So basically, I did some research. Google looks at, YouTube. It's like Google, right? Like if you have a ton of content on your YouTube, they look at you as a trusted source and they boost you up on those recommendations. Because I erased everything, it's like I'm a new booty out here, and I gotta work my way up, man. So
yeah, and also they take like all the people that you've already have talked to who already clicked those videos. They have an attachment to them, so they already have, like they say, you have a carbon foot trail in the internet. Far as those people are already hitting that button for your video, so then when you delete them all that carbon footprint is gone now. So that, like you said, you gotta recreate it and kind of get people to go ahead, like say, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man, and get back to it.
Yeah, it really messed me up. I'm gonna be honest with you, but one thing about me, Twin, if I'm nothing else, I got fortitude, man. I'm gonna keep fighting and bounce my way back. We'll be back up to where we need to be when all is said and done. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I just want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you and your support, all that good stuff. So, Twin, let's talk 49ers versus Rams, man. What was the main thing you took away from the game? What was your summary of that game?
The main thing I took away from that game was our defensive line pressure was suspect all game. Now to the fourth quarter, I believe that we started to kind of generate some pressure. But before then, we looked very casual and ordinary out there. And I think what happened was people began to talk about our secondary a lot, about their mistakes in the soft coverage, not knowing that schematically, if the front seven's not doing their job, this is where we invested over millions of dollars. Armstead getting paid over $10 million, Bosa getting paid over $10 million, Hargrave getting paid over $10 million. When those guys don't produce accordingly with their 4-man rush and their spread in their spread 9 technique, the back end suffers. And I think that's what happened. Like what I saw, especially against the Rams team, who don't necessarily have a lot of people on the outside. We do have Aaron Donald, but he's a middle, he's a D tackle. And so for us to not necessarily generate, well, not Aaron Donald, I'm just saying in general, for us not to generate the pressure on the defensive end kind of shocked me. And that was the biggest thing that kind of stood out for me. I know the offense, everybody talks about that, but I love defense. And so I was like, man, what's going on? What's up with this? And it's the Rams, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that was the biggest thing that I saw that made me scratch my head and saw the difference between last week against the Steelers compared to this week against a top-level quarterback or a quarterback that know how to throw the ball, how things really change with our defense.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things to that. We'll dive in deeper on the offensive line and defensive line, but I think the Rams' offensive line is actually better than people thought. They were ranked after week 1. They were the second best offensive line. I think they're a little better than people expect. I think the Rams overall are better than people expected. But Stafford was actually getting the ball out really quick yesterday. I was looking at those numbers as well. So he was getting that ball out quick. He wasn't kicking back there. But we got a lot to talk about. Let's go over some of these numbers real quick. 49ers beat the Rams 30-23. By the way, I did tweet out the 49ers are going to beat the Rams 31-23. And they beat them 30-23. I said that 4 days ago. Just a little toot. I need a horn. I got a 2-bone horn. I did predict that people are like, why do you expect them? They're not going to put up that many points. Hey, I was right, man. I just had a feeling, honestly. I think Matt Stafford he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. So he's going to get his. I also predict he's going to throw 45 plus times and throw 2 interceptions. I was right about that as well. So, the Rams, I kind of like, I feel like I know them. I also said Debo was about to go ham. Debo went ham. So a lot of this stuff I kind of saw coming. I don't get everything right, but when I do, I got to say it, right? I got to acknowledge when I'm correct about things. But let's talk real quick. Brock Purdy, 17 for 25, 206 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A lot of people are like, wait, he did throw a touchdown, but it was behind. It was a backwards pass. They gave it they count as a run for Debo.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, 20 carries, 116 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Debo, 5 carries, 38 yards, 7.6 yards per average in the touchdown. Brock Purdy, 3 carries for 5 yards and a touchdown. Receiving, Debo, 6 receptions, 63 yards, 10.5 per reception. Jawan Jennings, 2 for 51. Ayuk, 3 for 43. Kittle, 3 for 30. Christian McCaffrey, 3 for 19. So on the offensive side of the ball, man, Christian McCaffrey is definitely toting the line, man. What are you seeing from Christian?
I think, honestly, man, we just see his all-around game. I believe when you have a player just consistent, diverse, and he shows this a little, every now and again, he gives this little burst of elusiveness. You know that he's not necessarily the biggest individual that will break a lot of tackles, but he can shred a little bit better, if that makes sense. He doesn't necessarily break a lot of tackles, but he does shred those arm tackles and things of that nature. And I just think he's really setting the tone for our offense. And I know our passing numbers are kind of pedestrian in my opinion, but you could tell that we are living and breathing whatever it is that Christian McCaffrey does. I just hope we're going to have to take it easy on him. You know what I mean? I mean, he's running. He's a great running back. I love what he's doing. I just hope to see that some other guys just get in there for a little bit. And I know Christian's he's a bell cow. You know what I mean? Remember how early Allen Iverson used to be back in the day? The dude used to pay 45 minutes a game. Like, you couldn't even take him out. He was just an energized bunny because he worked so hard throughout the offseason to condition his body. I think that's what we see from Christian McCaffrey. But I think overall, man, he really set the tone, ran hard, ran in between the tackles very good, ran outside very good, and overall just had a really good day as a running back for our team.
Yeah, man. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, it doesn't happen often where the MVP is not a quarterback, but if anyone has a shot this year, honestly, I think outside of some quarterbacks, the only player probably in the NFL that has a shot at being MVP outside of a quarterback right now, I mean, I can't think of any others, but I think it's Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey has a legitimate shot to be in that top 5, top 10 conversation for MVP at the end of the year, especially if he continues at this trajectory. Let's talk defense real quick, man. I want to summarize the defense, and then we'll dive in deeper. But Fred Warner, man, he led the team in tackles, 9 total, 2 assists. He's the only player that got a sack on the team. Charvarius Ward, Diamondo Lenore were second and third in tackles. And a part of that reason, because that soft coverage they were playing, right? They were just leaving wide receivers open and coming up and tackling them. Lenore did get 1 interception. Isaiah Oliver got an interception as well. This is a big game for Isaiah Oliver, man. I haven't seen much good from Isaiah Oliver up until this game. Preseason looked bad. Training camp looked bad. First week, like, where is he? But he really stepped up this week, man, and kind of like made me take back some of that criticism I give him. What'd you see from Isaiah Oliver?
Man, tackling. I'll say that first and foremost. Like, let's be honest. Even our big guys missed some tackles today. I saw Fred miss a tackle. Traverse Mooney missed a couple tackles. My guy Law missed a tackle. Like, we missed some tackles today. Like, this is where, again, this things can look kind of weird when we look at our defense performance today. And a lot of people saying, well, Steve Wilks. And I could tell he can deserve some of the blame. But overall, we just didn't execute and tackle very well. But Oliver made sure he tackled very well. He stayed connected to the inside wide receiver. And then when we needed a big play, he did make those big plays. And so I'm thankful that he was able to kind of use his big body to cover the guy, stay plastered to him. And overall, he played very well in that slot formation.
Yeah, I actually tweeted that out, man. They didn't look like the same tacklers that we're used to. They weren't tackling at the same level that we're used to seeing from the 49ers defense. And maybe a lot of it is that the wide receivers for the Rams are just so damn fast. Like they're little quick dudes, man. Those are the hardest guys to tackle. Them little quick guys. Like Tutu Atwell is like one of the smallest dudes I've ever seen play football. Maybe outside of like Sproles or something.
Yeah,
That's a tiny little quick dude. They're hard to tackle. Let's read out some of these numbers for the Rams. Matthew Stafford was 34 for 55, 307 yards, 1 touchdown, but 2 interceptions. Kyrie Williams, he continues to be he's the running back now. I don't he didn't didn't even get a rush. What's his name? Akers.
Yeah.
The first week he was averaging like 1.9 yards per carry. This week I don't know if he's hurt or they just said I'm done with this guy because he was bad. So Kyrie Williams is their lead running back right now, but still he didn't do that good. He got 52 yards, but only 3.7 yards per carry. Stafford was scrambling a little bit, which I thought was Matt Stafford. I wasn't expecting that. He got 17 yards rushing. But that's pretty much it from the reception side. Now Puka Nacua, man, that's a rookie. He's a candidate for rookie of the year right now, to be honest with you. He last game he had 119 yards. This game 147.
Hey, you might say Christian McCaffrey might be the offensive player of the year, but if Puka catch 200 receptions, bro, hey, I ain't never seen it before in my life. I ain't never seen nobody go for 200. Yeah. And the way that man, listen here, that man catch everything. You know what I'm saying? And he's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I noticed is like they didn't have star guys around Matthew Stafford. Let's be honest. They had guys on there that most of us couldn't even name that was on there a year ago, let alone 2 years ago. So to get that type of production, and I only see that we really pulled off at the end of the game, because I know some of these stats, we see interception here, an interception there, a pressure here and there. But for the majority part of the game, as far as the first 3 quarters, my guy, hey, man, look, they was dotting us up, boy. I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, that those guys are fast. I mean, think about Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, and then think about what if Cooper Kupp comes back and he's the same Cooper Kupp that we've seen in the past. They're going to be pretty dangerous from the receiving standpoint. So it's something we don't want to overlook when it comes to these Rams. I mean, next time we play them, I forget when we play them. I got to look at the schedule, but I know it's later on in the season. You can't just, we beat them, but it wasn't by much. It was by 7, really like 10. That field goal at the end was, kind of garbage time minutes. But overall, it was closer than a lot of people thought. I predicted this was going to be the score, but, the Rams, they got a Hall of Fame quarterback. They got 3 good young wide receiver, or 2 young ones and 1 good one. So, I mean, they can't be, I know we dominate them in the season, but they did beat us in the playoffs, so we can't be overlooking them. I think the Niners beat them again next time as well, but I think they're better than we thought. I'll put it that way. I don't think people thought they were going to be this good.
I think they deserve some respect. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I know a lot of times we disrespect them, talking about we beat them, 9 times in a row or 10. Like, we always beat them in the regular season, which I get it. We have. But again, if you don't leave that game yesterday thinking like, okay, hey, listen here, I see y'all. Similar to how Colorado versus Colorado State, even though they end up pulling that game off and winning, you got to respect, like, okay, y'all boys, y'all come to play. You see what I'm saying? Even though you might not have a lot of guys that are known, they would coach well. One of my biggest issues with our team, once again, for the second week in a row, penalty yards. I think last week we had 87 yards worth of penalty. This week is probably around that same number. We was just very undisciplined. So to have a very a veteran-laden team like we do have all these penalties again with these known guys on our squad, I got an issue with that.
Yeah, and I think Johnny posted we play the Rams again last game of the season, January 8th. So could be interesting, man. If the Rams end up playing better than we thought, and they're beating the Seahawks twice, they beat the Cardinals twice. If that ends up being the case, it could be an important game at the last game of the season. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not saying the Rams are like a legitimate Super Bowl type team, but I think they're better than a lot of people expected, for sure. I think the Rams now are 1-1. Seahawks are 1-1. Cardinals are 0-2. Niners are 2-0 in the NFC West. So they hold the crown for the NFC West, man, which is good. We're starting early this time. All right, man, let's talk 49ers O-line. What'd you see from the 49ers offensive line? They did give up 1 sack. to Byron Young, who has actually been a really good player for the Rams this year. But outside of that, no other sacks. So what do you think about the 49ers offensive line?
Hey, this week, if I'm being honest, if you look now, I think there was one pressure and 0 tackles for loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brock Purdy. Go ahead.
3 QB hits. So we got 0 pressures, 3 QB hits, and 1 tackle for loss. And I mean, honestly, you can't necessarily complain about that. You know what I mean? With the type of talent that we have on the outside, when you have a decent level of starters on the offensive line, and this is what they give you, where you had pretty much a clean pocket all day long, and you're not having to pick yourself up a lot of the times. Hey, respect. You know what I mean? So I have no issue. I mean, we can, nitpick at it, but at the same time, to play against a team like the Rams, who really only have like one really good stud on there, and to keep this guy, like to keep Brock Purdy clean throughout the whole game, salute, man. Salute.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Brock does a great job getting that ball out quick. I think yesterday was his, I'm trying to remember what it was. Second, it was like 2.41 seconds, really quick. I think it was like his second. It might have been his best game as far as getting the ball out. I got to look at the stats. I'm sorry, I should have had that more prepared, but I did see it this morning. He got the ball. He's getting the ball out quick, so that definitely helps. But yeah, I think we were worried about the 49ers offensive line going against, based off the Steelers game, we were worried about that right side, especially McKivitz and Burford. But they did pretty good. I actually took a poll after the game yesterday, asked who did better, the 49ers O-line or the 49ers D-line, and everybody said the O-line did good.
Easy.
Yeah, so here's my question now. What's up with the D-line, man? How do you think they did?
Man, now, y'all go ahead and get mad at me, I thought our $100 million man looked very regular out there. I don't care what nobody say. That dude, hey, I hear the excuses. Well, hey, man, he was getting the ball out fast and so on and so forth. I get it, but God dog, if I'm paying you $20 million a year, $30 million a year, hey, man, I need you to make some noise way before the fourth quarter. Because how is it that when the fourth quarter come, and I'm not mad that you got some pressures in the fourth quarter, but now all of a sudden you was able to get home a little bit. But for the first 3 quarters, you couldn't. So some people would say, well, he was getting the ball out fast, so that's why they couldn't get no pressures. But in the fourth quarter, he got some. So something was happening eventually, which he was able to kind of learn what they was doing to get home. But I just thought we didn't necessarily generate pressure from the inside enough. We didn't generate pressure from the outside. I thought even then, if you don't get a sack, you still got to hit the quarterback, at least start touching him up a little bit. My guy was just too comfortable back there, you know what I mean? And when you give a guy like Matthew Stafford the time to just diagnose and quickly react and hit his wide receivers on, like with those timing routes that he was hitting them with, I thought that it made the back end look even worse because, again, I think they worked from the front end to the back and not from the back end to the front with the type of players that they do have on their front seven. So that was my observation with that defensive line. It was like, man, come on, especially when you know they're not even running the ball. Like the running game was insignificant as well. So come on, man. Like,
yeah,
I was like, what's up? And another thing, Wilkes was dialing up blitzes because he was bringing 4. He'll bring in 5 from here to here. Like, he'll call it out. And to me, they were good blitzes. But then again, once the blitz got there, we missed the dude. You know what I'm saying? We'll miss the tackle.
Oh, Charvarius, yeah.
Charvarius. One time, Fred did it. One time he hit him, but one time he missed him. I think Talanoga came on a blitz one time. He missed the guy too. He just over pursued. And so, like, when we don't get pressure, and then we're saying, well, okay, defensive coordinator, what you gonna do? Because these guys are getting, the passes off. So then when he does call a blitz, you got to execute because now they're gonna make it even look even worse because now you're losing a DB, and he's completing the pass, mainly because you didn't go through there and you didn't tackle properly. You know what I mean? So, the Warner blitz was, like I said, Warner hit a couple, but I don't know if it was Warner or Dre Greenlaw. Somebody missed another blitz, but overall though, that's just my thing. We got to tackle better, man. We got to just slow down and hit the guy.
Yeah, Charvarius missed one on a corner blitz. I mean, the one sack that the 49ers got was Fred Warner on a linebacker blitz. So the 4 D linemen, they did not record any sacks yesterday. Nick Bosa actually has not had a sack in the last 5 games if you go back to the playoffs last year. So we need Bosa to play like the Bosa that we're used to when he's on and cracking. But I will say, if I'm making any excuses for the 49ers D line, again, that Rams offensive line, it's a bunch of no-name guys, right? That people don't know. But after the week 1 against Seattle, they were the top two offensive lines in NFL. And based on what they did yesterday, I imagine they're still up there somewhere towards the top. They might just be better than people expected because they don't know their names, right? A lot of times when it's no-name guys, you just don't know who they are. You expect them to be trash, but those guys, everyone emerges at some time. Maybe what we're seeing is the Rams offensive line emerge. Some of these players that we don't know of, maybe we'll know about them by the end of the year. So maybe that's a possibility. I want to talk about Charvarius Ward. I want to get your guys' take on this. Charvarius Ward was playing very soft coverage off the guys by, like, I don't know, it's like 10 yards at sometimes. We're like just playing back. Before week 1, Charvarius Ward, it was reported that he wasn't practicing because of a heel injury. So I'm wondering if he's still nursing that heel, and if that's why we aren't seeing the Charvarius Ward that we're used to seeing. Do you think that's a possibility, or what's going on with Charvarius?
Well, if it is a heel injury, you don't want him backpedaling, I guess, as much coming out, in backpedaling. So you got to play the soft coverage and kind of make sure he just have to run forward, not have to run forward and backwards. He's been nicked up a lot lately. Even at the end of last year, he was nicked up, and he's had several lower body injuries as well. I hope this is not a lingering injury, because the one thing we don't need is our cornerback suffering, especially that's the area of weakness. If we look at our D-line, our linebackers, and our secondary, we would think that our corners are kind of iffy, And I like Charvarius. I like Moody. Moody had a good rating last week as far as just tackling, getting there. He had sticky coverage last week, but this week, again, he just wasn't comfortable. He didn't feel as confident out there. And I just kept looking like, man, this ain't Mooney. You know what I'm saying? This is not the Mooney I'm accustomed to seeing for the 49ers, So maybe he just had a bad day. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give it to him. He just had a bad day.
Did they just was it possible they also were just respecting the speed of the receivers for the Rams, and maybe that's why they were backing off so much?
Well, see, the only reason why I don't think so is because in order for them to run that 7 route, the 8 route, the 9 route, you need time. You know what I'm saying? You need time to make sure that you got to step and have the guy to run the 20 to 25 route. And so our defensive player is supposed to be able to get home then. So if I'm the offense, I would want to take advantage of that. But for apparent reason, I think they were just like, hey, we don't have a really good running game. This reminds me a lot of that Tom Brady at the end of his career where, hey, I'm just go literally dink and dunk, you know what I'm saying? Like down the field and matriculate the ball that way, because we can't run like these short area passes were pretty much running plays. You know what I'm saying? It was like 3-yard run here or 5-yard run here. And they just did that consistently throughout the game. And I think they could have taken advantage of our safeties if they were to go deep. But I think my man's Sean McVay just kept it conservative and didn't necessarily want to put that team in a bad position because we were so close throughout the entirety of the game. But I definitely believe if he would have had Cooper Kupp, maybe somebody else who were a little bit better on the outside, I thought he would have tested the 49ers secondary a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a valid point. Yeah, maybe it is Charvarius is nursing that heel injury, and also that combined with the speed, it's tough to play corner in general in this league. And if you're nursing a heel injury, and I don't know, maybe he's 100% fine, and maybe I'm just making excuses for the guy, but he just doesn't look like the Charvarius we're used to seeing. So maybe that plays a part. But overall, I think, here's a better question for you after talking about all this. 49ers got like $41 million in cap space. What do you think they should do? Should they go get a free agent corner off the free agency market, or what should they do with that 41 mil? Do you have any ideas, or what are they going to do? What do you think?
I think again, they're gonna have to wait, man. I think I think somewhere around week 5, week 6, we got to see what we got and see, is it our safeties? Well, not our safeties, our corners, or something on the offensive line that we may have to tinker. And I think they're just going to hold on to it. But then again, if we could get somebody on a good deal that they may see a potential in a young player on one of these good teams, and they may throw away an old savvy vet, hey, man, tell that vet to come on down here. Whether it's a safety, a running, a corner, or offensive tackle, man, bring them to the bay, have a cup of coffee, sit on down. You know what I'm saying? Have a beignet or something, because I think they go sit on that money because they never really a team to quick to move and do something unless it's real big. And I think this is the year that my man said money needs to roll over. They might let it roll over, but I think they have to win this year, so they might not be thinking about what's going to happen with their money next year. I think they're just trying to say, hey, if we can make a real big splash move at the end of the season or during the trade deadline, I think they just go make it to try to make sure they get this year to be the Super Bowl year.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, hopefully, knock on wood, nobody gets injured. But like, if somebody gets injured, maybe they make a move then. I think it's gonna be hard to pull in an offensive lineman at this point with the run game being as hard as it is under Kyle Shanahan. It's pretty complex, so you're gonna have to catch up quick. It's gonna be hard to pop an offensive lineman in. So I think, yeah, I mean, corner is a position where you can actually be inserted pretty quickly in the NFL. Pass rusher, that's another position you can insert pretty quickly. But a lot of these other positions, man, you kind of need that off season to figure out what you're going to be doing. So we'll see, man. Maybe if there's an injury or if there's an opportunity somewhere before the deadline, they sign somebody to make this team stronger and go all in on the season. But yeah, I was just curious about it. And again, maybe they roll it over next year to make it cheaper for everybody. I wanted to bring out two things. The 49ers play the Giants on Thursday, which is not that far away. BA and Debo both looked like they was injuring something. It looked like Debo might have just got a little crink in his neck from that one hit. Maybe that's all it is. We'll find out a little bit more today. I don't think it's anything serious. But Debo looked like he was a little banged up or something that was going on with him on the sideline as well. Although Debo he runs so hard, man. We have injury scares with Debo constantly. Even when he's not injured, he just kind of lays there. And so I don't know, man. Maybe he's just running too hard. But are you worried at all about BA and Debo's health on a short week going up against the Giants on Thursday?
Yeah. And also, even though like Debo, we was talking about his rushing, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at it. Debo had 5 rushes, 38 yards, and 1 big rush for 17, for a touchdown. He's so physical, but at the same time, all of his rushes is predicated on him breaking several tackles at the line of scrimmage. Like, It's not like he get clear rushing lanes. I don't know if you watched the game last night with Miami, and he's like Mostert was running, Raheem was running the ball, and he had clear lanes. Like, he didn't have to shrug off a lot of people. He hit the hole and go. I know he's a running back, but he kind of caught some of those balls in the backfield as well. And I think with Debo, man, him having to generate so much power and to deal out so much punishment to get those yards, you want him to stay healthy, and especially when it's only Debo and Christian McCaffrey getting the bulk of the rushing. I just want them guys to last a little longer, and I think we do have the talent at running back to let some of these other guys go out here and do some dirt, man. But man, hopefully they stay healthy. BA, I'm not worried about. He's usually a gamer. I think something might be wrong with him, but they probably shoot him up with some good drugs and make him feel all right.
Yeah, as an old man, I always get these little crinks in my neck and shoulders and back. So I feel like that's kind of what it is. He took a hard hit. I hopefully it's nothing serious, nothing structural in his bones or anything, and it's just a little muscle tweak, and he'll be all right. So, I mean, speaking of the Giants too, and we got to talk about Brock Purdy here in just a second, but Saquon Barkley is also out for the Giants. So, I mean, the Giants, man, they traveled from where they played. They played at Dallas, right? Then they went back to New York. Then they flew out to Arizona, and I've heard that they're staying out here on the West Coast, staying in Arizona before their game Thursday against the 49ers. I don't want to dive in too much to this yet because we still need to recap this game, but what are your thoughts real quick on the Giants versus the 49ers this Thursday?
I think we better be prepared for Daniel Jones to run the ball like crazy. Yeah. Now, I know we've had trouble with running quarterbacks, and I know Daniel Jones is not the name. We don't really think of him as that guy for real, but he has been one of the most elusive quarterbacks there is. And I think at the end of last year, he was running the ball very well. Even the playoff game last year, he ran the ball consistently, didn't really take a lot of punishment, helped keep extending those downs and distances. So we got to make sure we be careful. I mean, they don't have as much talent on the outside. They don't have a really great tight end. But I think Brian Daboll, I think he's a good coach. You know what I mean? and we just got to make sure we just boggle him down and hit him early and often. And if we are able to get the pressure with the 4, we should be able to take care of them and throw them out there, man. It shouldn't be a big deal, especially if they got to travel. Well, you said they already in Arizona, so
yeah,
we should.
Yeah, but it's still they're on the road for a minute. Yeah, Giants defense not been good at all, man. They look bad. Their offensive line looks atrocious. But I don't know, I can't even remember his name. Daniel. What is his name?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. I don't know why. The last 2 weeks I can't remember Daniel Jones' name, but you're right. He is a definite scrambler. He was making things happen even against the Cowboys from a scrambling standpoint, despite this porous O-line. The Giants O-line is awful. I think honestly, if Barkley was there and Jones, with Jones and Barkley, that's actually it's a tough match actually for the 49ers because of how good Barkley is and also Jones's ability to scramble. But their offensive line is so trash and their defense is so trash. I think the 49ers win this one pretty easily would be my prediction.
But I would say this. So if you look at Daniel Jones' numbers yesterday, now he threw for 321 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he had 26 for 37, 321 yards, 8.7 yards per throw, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jalen Hyatt is that rookie who got some burners. He had a 58 long pass. That's a deep bomb. He only had 2 catches for 89 yards. So we got to watch out for him. Darren Waller, a guy up the middle, he's one of the most physical, gifted, talented tight ends in the National Football League. He had 6 receptions for 76 yards as well. And so they do have, I ain't gonna say they got a great talent on the outside, but we can't sleep on them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with Daniel Jones running the ball, Daniel had 9 carries for 59 yards in the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
9 carries now for 59 yards. That's a lot of rushing yards. You know what I'm saying? That's more rushing yards than any other running back on our team right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So
you got to contain him.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm scared or nothing. I'm just being observative of what the other team present that we need to make sure we take care of. And again, the Russell Wilsons of the world, the Kyler Murrays of the world have given us trouble. That doesn't mean we go lose, but we do need to make sure we are tackling correctly and taking care of our business.
Yeah, he's definitely a mobile quarterback, man. I was actually impressed with that. Like against the Cowboys, again, they got their ass whooped. But he was like, despite that crazy pass rush, and he got sacked a lot. I think he got sacked 7 times, but he can move. There's no question about that. So 49ers got to be prepared to contain him. I mean, outside of that, now that they lost Barkley, I'm not really worried about much from the Giants. As long as you can contain Daniel Jones, I think the 49ers should be able to handle him pretty easily. And plus, it's the first home game. Second home game if you count Levi South as a home game. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good game, and it's on Thursday. We don't have to wait that long. The only thing bad about that is after the Giants game on Thursday, we got to wait like 10 days before another game. That's the only thing I don't like about it. All right, man, let's talk Brock Purdy. And then real quick, I'm going to go ahead and put this invite in the chat. I don't have what I'm going to be doing now from now on is because I canceling my call-in shows. But what we're going to do is just take like a call, 2-3 calls per show towards the end of the show. So if you guys want to call in, I'm going to put the link right there. But again, I too many. If there's a bunch of you guys, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to ask you to come back tomorrow. But if we can get like 2 or 3 you guys want to call in, we'll take calls after we talk about Brock Purdy, man. So let's talk, man. Brock Purdy show.
Oh,
what do you think?
Quick thing before we go to Brock Purdy. I know it's a deep subject. I just want to say this for us as fans. Special teams. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it loud.
Oh, yeah.
Moody, salute. 3 for 3. A
57-yarder.
Long.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. But that's not the guy who I want to talk about. I just say this real quickly. Mitch Wisnowski. If you know about football, you know about yards, you know about all 3 levels working in unison. Bro, my mans were kicking the hell out that ball. My man only had 4 kicks. But he had 197 yards.
Oh, really? I'm plenty.
He had 2 kicked in the he had 2 kicks. He had a touchback and 2 kicks in the 20. He had a 67-yard kick as well as far as punt. Bro, I just want to give my man some props because I know they don't necessarily talk about him that much. But, man, He kicked his butt off yesterday. So, salute to Mitch. and Moody, because y'all really did help that team, like, far as have to matriculate down that field. They flipped the field possession on multiple occasions for our defense. I mean, for the defense to help them out. And hey, my guy, I just want to say salute to you, man. You get some love over here on the Ryan G. Hensley show, man, because hey, you did your thing. You was kicking that mother effing ball yesterday, my guy.
That's true. And I heard that Moody, I think he has the second longest field goal in the history of the Niners. So that's good, man. That's huge. Just we got Niner gang, and it looks like someone else, CJ, was popping in. We'll get to you guys in a second. We just want to talk about Brock Purdy, and I appreciate you calling in. I always love hearing from Niner gang as well. He's always got the optimism for me. But let's talk Brock Purdy, man. Brock Purdy actually good game overall. Let me bring up his numbers. We talked about his overall numbers. I think here's what people want to talk about mostly when it comes to Brock Purdy. So far this season, Brock Purdy's 2 for 7 with a touchdown when targeting receivers 20 yards downfield. Possibly the last box for Brock Purdy to check for me is his deep ball passing game. Based on his talent, I don't ever think he'll be throwing 50-yard bombs. But based on his mindset and the kind of guy he is, I imagine that he'll improve in that 20 to 40-yard range. And he's money under 20 yards. He had a good game. He missed 3 deep ones. And that's kind of been the thing we're holding out on for Brock Purdy. Like, is he going to be that guy deep? Now, he also, on that pass interference to Debo, there's 2 things. Debo got a pass interference call. Now, that ball, it's not being talked about because it's pass interference and it's being that was a pop fly. That ball was a pop fly duck in the corner. But luckily, here's the thing. This is why I like the deep ball, right? Is because when you throw deep, good things happen. You get a lot of pass interference calls. Mm-hmm. You can make big plays. It can be game-changing plays. And he did miss 3 wide open deep balls. 2 of them would probably have been a touchdown had he hit them. I'm not worried too much about Brock Purdy. Like, he's never going to be a 50-yard bomb type quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be able to do that. But I do think he'll improve in that range. My hope, though, is that Kyle doesn't start dialing those back too soon. Like, he's got to let him continue to make those shots and take those shots and learn how to be a better quarterback in that range. Because if he can get that, then this 49ers offense is at a whole nother level. And one thing I like about Brock Purdy is his mindset. I feel like he's the type of guy, if you continue to give him those opportunities, eventually he's going to figure it out. That's my opinion on it. But what do you think of Brock Purdy overall yesterday and everything I just talked about?
I mean, overall, like you said, early and often in the game, we got the little short routes. We got the ball out on time. He threw a nice end cut to Brandon Ayuk. I think that was actually on the play that he got hurt a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But he threw a couple. He had a bad ball to George Kittle. He had to go back, but George didn't get that much action in the passing game. But other than that, like you said, the ones that was kind of like, wow. And I don't know if you watched the game with the commentary on. They had the guy, Mr. Butt Fumble himself. Mark Sanchez. Yeah. I think he does a really good job in the booth too. I think he's kind of fair. He's not necessarily biased. Even with the quarterbacks, he'll be honest. If you throw a good ball, you threw a good ball. He said even with the 50-50 ball, he said, hey, that ball to Jauan Jennings was a good one, but he said, hey, the wide receiver made a play on the ball. He said the ball to Brandon Ayuk, he's like, hey, man, you just got to hit those. Yeah. The guy was open. The play was called perfectly. You had the right coverage that you wanted to see. You just got to make those plays. I believe as we play against these type of teams, it won't bother us at all. We'll be all right. We'll still win just because of talent alone. But again, you got to keep calling those plays to get his confidence. So by the end of the year, he has the touch. He has the understanding of his arm a little bit better. Because I think right now he's just throwing the ball far as his strength and not throwing it with. It's like, okay, we both hoopers, right?
Yeah.
And so, when you hooping, you can shoot a tray ball and you can see somebody shooting it effortless. Like they just hook and they can touch you. Like I can shoot a little more arc on it. I can pop that joker line drive, or I can shoot that joker off the dribble. You can see when Brock throwing it, he's just like, all right, I'm just going to shoot that mug. You know what I'm saying? Like he just, and you don't see that the featheriness in his throws. And to me, that means because he's trying to overly compensate. And that's okay. You got the arm, but now you just got to trust that you have the speed to throw it more so on the line and
Yeah.
not so much, the deep ball and trying to like surpass what I'm saying, like because all of them are pretty much overthrows.
Yeah.
And so I think he doesn't trust that he has the power to throw it long and high enough to where nobody will come and catch it underneath. And so, but other than that, man, that's just my only issue. And again, he just gonna have to tighten that up, man. But I'm glad he took 3. I'm glad he took the passes. And like I said, that don't mean we hate him. That don't mean he didn't play a good game. It was just quite obvious that he missed some wide open touchdowns.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's about it.
By the way, real quick, I got 3 callers lined up, so please nobody else call in. I appreciate you guys. We got Niner Gang, Case 49, Johnny C. I'm going to get you guys just a second. In regards to Brock Purdy, man, I want to I like to reiterate my thoughts on Brock Purdy because when you speak about any kind of criticism at all of Brock Purdy, people want to jump down your throat and think you're saying all this and that. Brock Purdy is money. Let me repeat this. Brock Purdy is money under 20, 25 yards. He's solid. I like everything about him. I like his leadership, his confidence, the way he reads the field, how quick he gets the ball out, his ability to get mobile and avoid pressure. I like all that about Brock Purdy. It's all great. When you start going further downfield, though, what I think it is yes, we like Rangel talking about. At least we know he has the arm strength. Well, any quarterback in the NFL can throw the ball 40 yards. A JV quarterback in high school can throw the ball 40 yards. We all know that he can throw the ball 40 yards. But what I think is what we're seeing is when he's going deep, he's putting more into it. Like it's like the kid with, you brought up the basketball analogy. There's kids with 3-point shots who they're not good at. They can't shoot the 3 very good. So they're putting their whole body into it, right?
Yeah.
And that messes up their accuracy. I feel like that's kind of what it is for Brock Purdy.
That's
like that,
good one. I don't care what I say. Like,
that under 25 yards is effortless for Brock. He's like boom, boom, boom. But when it starts going over there, then he's like putting it all into it, and that kind of messes up your accuracy. So can Brock Purdy throw 40, 45 yards? Absolutely. Of course he can. He's an NFL quarterback. No one ever said he couldn't. I think he just needs practice, with more and more practice, more and more repetitions, and the kind of mentality that Brock Purdy has, I think he'll figure it out if he gets more reps. I just don't want Kyle to dial it back now. I just don't want Kyle to be like, oh, he can't hit that. Let's not throw it anymore, because then we're screwed. Because he kind of did that to Jimmy in the 2019. And then when he needed that big throw, he dialed it up. But like, dude, you haven't been dialing that up all year. How are you just going to expect Jimmy to throw that in the Super Bowl to win the game when you don't do it all year? So I hope he continues. And a lot of people were talking shit to me, excuse my language, all season about like, oh, who cares about the deep passes? Well, obviously, Kyle does. He dialed up 4 or 5 of them in just yesterday's game, right? So it is an important thing in the offense. You got to be able to do it. And I think Brock Purdy will learn to do it under that 40, 45-yard mark. He has hit a nice 45-yard to George Kittle up the seam once. Mm-hmm. So I know he can do it in that range. Is he going to be throwing 50, 60-yard bombs? No, that's not who Brock Purdy is. But I believe he can improve in that 20 to 40-yard range. He's actually pretty good loosely. Like if you look at his whole career between 20 and 30, it's over 30 where he's been honestly not good throughout his career. But again, I think with his mentality, if Kyle keeps dialing it up for him, I think he will figure it out as he goes. So that's my overall thoughts on Brock.
Definitely Cowboys. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm leaving it at that. Sheesh, the mother suckers are bad.
Yeah, they're scary, man. I'm not worried about these Giants or Cardinals, but definitely the Cowboys. Let's bring Niner Gang in, man. Let's get his thoughts. Gang. What's up, Niner Gang? You there, brother?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Ryan? Twin, how we doing on this Victory Monday?
We're doing fantastic, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm just doing a little work, enjoying my dub, taking it to the house,
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly, man. What's on your mind today?
Just all this stuff about Brock Purdy and these deep throws, this, that, and the other. I agree with it. Like, the boy needs a little bit of work on that stuff, dropping them dimes, because, boy, let me tell you, I feel like that's the missing piece to Kyle's scheme. You get that piece right there, man, that whole playbook just falls wide open. And
it looks like the Falcons, right? It looks like the Falcons when they went to the Super Bowl. That's the difference. But, yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead.
No, you're good, buddy. You're good. Hey, man, I think Brock's got it. As hard as Brock works, I feel mid-season he's going to have those things down. As long as, to your point a minute ago, Kyle don't stop dialing those things up.
Keep going.
I was super, super happy yesterday to see that Brock missed 3 of those and Kyle dialed up a 4th one and Brock hit it. I was super, super excited for that because I seen him miss the first one. I'm like, oh, please, no, Kyle, don't stop. Second one, third one. And I was like, oh, he's going to do a Jimmy on him. And then he dialed it up again. I was like, yes, let's go, Kyle. So
yeah, I like the one to Jawan, 25 yards. That was nice.
I feel like Kyle's got the utmost trust in Brock for whatever reason that is. You know, Brock earned it. I agree with that. He's got the utmost trust in him, and I'm hoping this is what Kyle needed all along. You know, to Kyle's point, his own words, he's the man, he's the guy. This is it. He's the real deal. Hey, I'm not going to sit here and deny you. You see him every day, Kyle. You know what I mean? Now show me.
Right.
You know? So, man, but I do believe, man, that once Brock gets that deep ball down, and I think he's going to have it in the next few weeks, he might even – they was smart. They would go Thursday night and just bomb the crap out of freaking the Giants and just use it as an exhibition game, you know, not taking nothing away from the Giants. You know, they're a professional team. I get it. But just player for player, they don't stack up. And that's just facts, you know, and air that sucker out, man. And because week five is going to be a fun one.
Yeah. They need 3 or 4 deep shots a game. That's always been my thing. Like that's what's my problem with Jimmy. Like Jimmy actually has more arm talent than Brock, like on a deep shot, believe it or not. He's just mentally he's scared to pull the trigger for whatever reason. But with Brock's not scared to pull the trigger at all. He just needs to improve on that accuracy on the deep shot. And to me, if the 49ers can throw 3 or 4 of these deep shots per game and Brock can connect on 1 or 2 of them per game, that changes the whole offense, and teams have to respect the deep ball, and that opens things up underneath. That's what's been missing from the 49ers offense for a long time. And I think, again, like you said, like I said, as long as Kyle keeps dialing it up and doesn't give up on those plays, I think Brock will eventually figure that out.
Oh, I think Brock's going to get it. He works too dang hard. And then I seen yesterday, you know, after they put the camera right on his face, you know, after he misses the deep throws, you could tell, like, I feel like he's processing it, letting it go. Okay, a little too much, a little too left. You know, like the one he threw had his toes a little bit to the left, threw it behind Debo. Little stuff like that. That's just mechanics in the moment. We all forget too. Brock had no off season, man. You know, I mean, he had no off season. He had that surgery. He's getting it back. No excuses, you know, whatever. But it's the facts. You know, it's getting that arm back together. Got to get in motion with it. It's the second dang game of the season, you know, and he's airing them suckers out, man. And I think it's going to be devastating. But speaking of deep balls, I got to say, man, Tua, man, that boy has a beautiful deep ball.
Oh my God! Did you see the one on the 4th quarter to to what's his name, Craycraft?
Yep.
Oh my God! All this dude had to do was this. Like, I mean, the ball literally fell right in my man. I said, "Oh my God!"
You talking about yesterday or the week before?
Last night.
See, I haven't seen any from yesterday, but I saw the week before. It was weird, man. Like he was like avoiding a scramble. He's stepping up in the pocket, almost about to scramble, and he just like flicked his wrist with his left. You know, he's a lefty. Flicked his left hand. That thing went like 50 yards in the air. Like it's like, damn. I didn't know Tua was like that, to be honest.
Man, he's got arm talent. I didn't believe in Tua either for a long time there, man. I was like, I don't know about this guy, but man, last year, you know, with the exception of him getting hurt, which beyond his control to a degree, you know. Man, that boy has got a strong arm and he's accurate. The only like right now, honestly, in the NFL, it's between him and Lamar, who's got the best deep ball. I mean, even Patty Mahomes ain't got that deep ball like that. Patty Mahomes got all them little trick plays, you know, and put you to bed like that. But Lamar and Tua, man, that 40, 50, 60-yard deep ball, man, they're on point.
That joke was beautiful. I would say this though, even though Brock was throwing that thing, he had 4 or 5 good deep balls yesterday. As far as just the opportunity, this is with clean pockets now. Again, we talked about this earlier in the show. No pressures, no really like he didn't have like again, no knockdowns for real. That's why I think you need to hit it then, because then I don't know how he'll change his throwing motion or just his power or his feel when you get a little more pressure with better interior rushers or edge rushers on him. And so that's why I like for him to get more opportunities, like you said, on next week. Well, on this Thursday, keep throwing them because as long as you get the clean pocket and you throwing them, hopefully when the rush come and it's not as clean, they can stay the same, because now you got to worry about the DBs who you're playing against, you know, and that's where I'm always looking towards Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
yeah.
That's our next. That's my thing right there.
Niner gang. I gotta get to these next college, man, to stay on track here. But I always love talking to you, man.
Yes, sir. You know what I gotta say, gentlemen? It's a great week this week because we only gotta wait 3 days to play again, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Gentlemen, have a great day.
You too, Niner gang. Hope to hear from you a lot more, man. Thanks for calling, brother.
Salute.
All right, man. Let's get to Case 49, man. What's up, Case?
Ryan G Money. What's going on with you, baby? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Always good to hear from you. You got that voice, man. You got that voice.
Appreciate it, man. Yo, what's going on with your twin empire? How
What
you doing,
my
man?
guy, my man say he like 8-ball MJG. I got that deep voice feminine for y'all time. Y'all know about that space.
Yeah. Yo, man, I love your content too, twin, man. I be tuning in all the time too, man. I subscribe, But
appreciate
yeah, man, it was a great win, man. It was a great win, Ryan. You know what I'm saying? It was a division opponent on the road. I guess, you could say it was on the road. Like, right. It was crazy, man. Like, I have never seen anything like that. Like, I don't know if the Rams had to go to a silent count or not, but it was loud when they was on offense. Like, all the red that I saw.
It's a legit home game for the Niners, man. Like, seriously, no exaggeration.
And it was like, I felt like the defense, like, they was kind of confused a little bit. Like, is this a home game? Like, this is crazy. It was kind of hard for them not to be overconfident. You know what I'm saying? Just because of how many fans they had in the stadium. They was coming off this big win. They know how the Rams play. But from what I saw from this game was McVay using Shanahan's system against them. Like they controlled the time of possession. What's his name? Stafford was 1-2, boom, the ball was out. He was getting it out on two step drops. That's why we couldn't get any pressure. So eventually, in the second half, what you saw was, all right, so we're gonna man them up, and the defense start playing back a little bit to swat the ball down. You see, like Drake Jackson and Kinlaw got a couple of batted passes because they was like, this ball coming out too quick. We're not going to get home, But it was a good game, man. We was a little bit overconfident, but these are the games in the past, the trap games in the past that we would have lost. You see what I'm saying? Like the Atlanta game last year, you know what I'm saying? But with Brock, and I'll give Brock his credit, man. I like Brock. I never said I didn't like Brock. I never said he was a bad quarterback. On this team, he makes the team, he helps the team click.
Yeah.
With CMC and, everybody at the disposal, Brock can steer the ship way better than Jimmy Garoppolo ever could. You know what I'm saying? This is why we're winning the games now that we might have lost in the past with Jimmy. Yeah. And I love the fact that he didn't turn the ball over. He plays real smart football. I'm not really that concerned with the overthrows. I mean, that's kind of like to be expected a little bit. I'm more concerned to how he plays against, once we get in the playoffs and everything like that. But yeah, man, it was a good win, man. Division on the road, you got to have those. It was a must win, and he was playing McVay, who was his almost, I ain't going to say his equal, but he might be. But, it was crazy.
Yeah, not in the regular season. That's for sure. I mean, what is Kyle now? 8-0 in the regular season against McVay.
Right.
Yeah, he'd be killing them. Just that one playoff game is the black eye on the team. But other than that, man, he that's his son right now.
But they hit us with our own little dink and dunk system. And the pass rush couldn't get home. The ball was coming out too quick. They played soft. Steve Wilkes made adjustments during the half. He started clamping them up, started blitzing, and we held him to 3 points and a half and got 2 turnovers. Shout out to Oliver for finally stepping up. That's what we need to see. When people talk bad about you, they're not trying to, call you a bad person or anything. We just want to see you step up, my brother. You know what I mean? And you did it. So now you're going to get the credit you deserve. Good job on Oliver for stepping up.
Exactly. Yeah, you brought up something good point real quick, Case, is that the 49ers defense, I mean, technically it was 6. It was more like 3, but technically it was 6 points in the second half against the Rams, 0 points against the Steelers. So in the second half, I really judge coaches by what you do at halftime, right? The changes you make, the tweaks you make. And Wilkes have given up 6 points over 2 games in the second half. The 49ers defense it has. So I mean, that's a great point.
Yeah, we kind of did that a lot last year, but it was just like a stark difference between a top 10 quarterback or maybe top 5 quarterback in Stafford with no weapons versus a top 20, top 15 quarterback with a bunch of weapons. You know what I mean? Like, and you almost got the same result at the end. But we actually ended up winning because our defense was a lot better. But I think this game coming up against the Giants, I don't think the Giants are going to be ready for what the 49ers are bringing. I don't unless you're a team that practices that dink and dunk to be able to move the ball against our defense, like how McVay and the Rams practice that a lot. Daniel Jones, he likes to scramble. He likes to throw the ball down the field like you saw in that game yesterday. And I can't believe the Cardinals scored 28 points on them. That's a whole nother with Josh Dobbs of all people. Yeah, Josh Dobbs. But if you saw the game yesterday, Daniel Jones, he didn't get started until he hit that deep pass to Hyatt. And then he started throwing deep, So, yeah, man. Yeah. I don't think he's going to have that time to throw deep. And I don't think they're going to be ready for the physicality. I think that we're going to wear their defense down. Brock Purdy, he's going to do his thing. Purdy, all the way down the field. We're going to control the time of possession. And they're on the road, man. They're going to be tired. No Saquon. I don't really see it being a big competition. I think we gotta watch what's his name, Isaiah Hodgins, and Matt Breida too, man. Matt Breida, he's quick. I mean, we can't sleep on Breida.
I feel like Matt Breida has been playing forever, man. How old is Matt Breida, dude? He got to be like.
Yo, I love watching all of our old Niners play, man. Like Mostert, man. Shout out to Mostert, man. He's still a beast out there.
Still doing it.
I know y'all seen him, man. Like, I love CMC, but I think we should have kept Mostert. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But but I love all the old 49ers doing their thing. But yeah, we're gonna see Thursday night. Hopefully, we 3-0 going into this next game, man. It was a good win.
Yes, sir, man. I agree, man. I appreciate whenever you call, man. It's always good. You got that voice. You ready for it? You natural born call in, man.
Trust me. Yeah, I'm coming.
Good.
Yeah, all right,
I'm
man.
Sure you are. Thanks for the call, man. It's good to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a good one, man. Enjoy your Monday.
You too, for sure.
All right, last caller today. You guys know who he is. Ryan, Johnny C.
Last but
good morning, Ryan. Twin, how you doing?
What's cracking, my guy? How you doing this wonderful Monday, this magnificent Monday, baby?
So here's the deal. I'm giving Purdy a B+ for the fact there were no turnovers and the game changed when he scored a touchdown right before the half. The D-line took the day off. They sucked. I have to be blunt about that. Yeah. And the adjustments Shanahan and Wilkes made were very good. I would have liked the coverage to be pressed a little bit more with the DBs cutting off the short routes a lot sooner than they were.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, 2 road games, 2 wins. We are on a short week. I would rest
Ward. That's 1.5 road games, by the way. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good job.
Yeah.
I would rest Ward on the short week because they don't need him against the Giants. Take this opportunity to give them a game off and have a mini bye to fix the heel. And the offense is elite. They could have scored 40 yesterday. Brock missed 3 throws. But other than that, we got the fast start. Yeah. Win against the Giants, beat the Cardinals, be 4-0. But can't take anything for granted because we did lose to the Broncos and the Bears last year. Handle what you need to handle and get ready for the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they should be 4-0 going into the Cowboys game.
But the offensive line got an A from me. I was very encouraged with what I saw from them. But we're gonna need like a jar for all the personal fouls Dre gets this year. You cannot do that in a situation where it's a close game. Do it when you're up 3 touchdowns. don't let frustration get the best of you, and don't do it in front of a referee.
Yeah,
He was really
Greenlaw's
good
good for that.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Other
Greenlaw.
than that, and
Yeah.
one other thing I have to point out, Mitchell is in Kyle's doghouse. 2 carries against the Steelers, none against the Rams. Whatever he did, he shouldn't have done.
I don't know if I don't know if Mitchell's in the doghouse as much as just CMC is Kyle Shanahan's idol or favorite player. I swear
Well,
that's what it is.
I agree with
Well,
you.
well, ultimately, I bet CMC to win Offensive Player of the Year at 12-1. So he needs to do what he does, but I need to see that version of CMC when it matters in January.
Yeah, agreed.
But ultimately, I'm going to be critical. I'm never going to be happy, but we did get one other thing that proves preseason means nothing. Moody Magic is back.
Yeah, Moody's nice, man. 57-yarder. Yeah, it's good. That was
I
great.
appreciate things like this. Even with the ball kicked out of the bounds of special teams, first 2 weeks has been really good.
Yeah, agreed,
But
man. Moody's
again,
money right now.
we on to the Giants, win the game, and have the mini bye.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And hey, I know you said rest my guy Mooney Ward, but again, we gotta find some carries for even if you're in the doghouse for Mitchell.
Yeah, rest CMC. Yeah.
Mason, man. I want him I want to win the Offensive Player of the Year award, but I also know that eventually you don't want these early in the season when we are winning by these big margins to take at least 25 to 30 hits off of them with the guys that we do have. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
You know what award I want him to win? I want him to win the Super Bowl MVP. That's the only award I want.
That one.
Like, keep him healthy, man. Like, I agree. Yeah,
100%.
But
again, I'm always going to be critical. I mean, I know you get my tweets, so where I was at. But the 2-minute drill was nice yesterday. That offense is not a joke.
Yeah, I mean, guess what happens though? A lot of that 2-minute drill is there's guess what? 2 pass interference calls on the defense, right? And you only get that, not only, but you get that a lot when you attack deep. That's been what I've been saying for so damn long. Attack deep.
I know.
No, wait, not even to cut you off. Not only that, guys, Kyle going for it on 4th down in the first half.
Yeah.
All of that happened because Kyle actually went for it early on in the series, which allowed us to have multiple series again. This is 2nd week in a row that Kyle shows some cojones, and I respect. That's all I want to say. I've been wanting him to do a little bit of that more often, and he's
more aggressive. Yeah. I think he trusts Brock Purdy way more than he ever trusted Jimmy. And you can see it in his play calling. Yeah.
But again, all in all, we are 2-0 and 1-0 in the division. At this point, after looking at the division, if we're not 6-0 in the division, something's going to be very wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, man. Like, division games are tough. I could see the Niners losing one, either to like the Rams or the Seahawks. I could see that happening. Especially in the middle of the season, that schedule gets tough. A lot of travel, but 6-0 is definitely possible.
Well, I could see the Rams being maybe a loss because that's the last game of the year, and hopefully by that time we have the 1 seed clinched, so the third stringers are playing.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, that'd be it. All right, Johnny, I got to get you out of here, man. But great call as always, brother.
Have a good morning, Twin. Have a good one, Ryan.
What's up, my guy, Johnny? Take it easy. Have a good Monday.
All right, that's Johnny C. Johnny's good, man. He always calls in. He's got the takes. I like Johnny, man. He's a good guy. Real quick, make sure if you guys aren't subscribed to Twin Empire that you're subscribed to Twin on. If you go to the description, you can find the link to go subscribe to him. A reminder: I'm going to be going 9 a.m. Monday through Friday from now on. That's what I'm doing. That's the schedule. I'm sticking to it. That's what it did last year. It was great. I tried to switch it up, make my schedule all complex, but it was too hard for me with my workload and my family life. So from now on, 9 a.m. every weekday, find us right here. Again, if you haven't yet, hit that like button and subscribe to me. And again, I need your help because YouTube demonetized me. I had to erase all my videos. And because I erased all of my videos, it messed up the whole algorithm. So I got to build myself back up. So it would really help me if you like this video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And then if you would be so kind, leave a comment in the comments for me. Because again, I had 200 something videos I had to erase. and I need your help building back up. It would be much appreciated, man. But anyways, I appreciate all you guys. Twin, you got anything else to say before we get out of here, man?
Again, man, I just appreciate everybody for coming in, tuning in yesterday. Again, thank you for all the 49er faithful that traveled to our second home, our vacation spot that we got down there in LA. We appreciate all you fans, man, just really going there, supporting the team. We felt it through the television screen, man. We thank you all. And again, like my guy said, make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, share the content, share it multiple times if you can, man. And let's keep on moving forward, onward and forward, baby. 3-0 is the next goal. Pray everybody continue to stay healthy. I don't think I heard anybody being hurt, significantly. So that's another good thing that we had another week, no real bad injuries. So let's go for it, man. I'm good to go.
Yes, sir. I'll be back on tomorrow, 9 a.m. I think with Jesse. I'm going to be on with Jesse sometime tomorrow. I think it'll be 9 a.m. I'm going to go on with I got to go pick up my son at the airport. He flew to hang out with his friends in Atlanta. I'm going to go pick him up at the airport. And then I will be back on with Grant at some time today. I'm thinking around 12:30-ish. So tune in for that. And then I'll be on again tomorrow. Same time, same place. I appreciate you guys very much.
ATL Jones.